Man, another episode of TDM Talk. We're here in San Antonio on location, man. I'm here with the homie Clef the God. What's the deal, my man?
What's good, brother?
Chilling, man, chilling. How's everything? It's good to finally meet you, man. I know we done chopped it up,
Yeah,
here and there, and you've been definitely been on your grind, bro, definitely. So, how's everything going?
going good. Been working on a lot of projects, working on a lot of placements. My guys in LA always send me prompts for everything. Like I know Bel-Air, they were working on it tough. I didn't get in as many submissions as I wanted because I was like doing a lot of other stuff. But yeah, man, that's been what's taking up most of my time. Other than that, raising my daughter, going
Yeah,
on mile runs every day, trying to get the health back,
yeah,
just in a good place right now. And then working on some music of my own as well, here and there, kind of trying to go that route that I want to go with it musically now, as opposed,
yeah,
I was kind of like hitting all genres at all times. Now I'm kind of focusing it on this contemporary, powerful, cinematic sound
definitely.
that like makes you like, get goosebumps and want to go harder and like want to live.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. So the artist. Well, let me start with the producing and what you do because because I want to say there's a difference in producing for someone and producing someone, like being an actual producer in the studio, not just sitting there. Because one of my good friends, Powda, out of Houston, she talks so much about wanting to be produced when she's in the studio. And for those that don't know, explain what that difference is because there is a difference, right? There's people you go in the studio and they just hit record and they let you do whatever and they don't say anything. Then you got people like I'm sure as yourself that say no, do it like this, or hey, this is a better way to say this, or say this instead. And but explain to you what that difference is.
Yeah, me and my man Smooth Vega talk about this
Yeah,
all the time. That's one of my
shout out to
partners.
Smooth Vega.
So 99.9% of people aren't produced. They're just searching through beats. They make a song to it and things like that. When I do more than make the beats, so I walk you through the whole song front to back. It means that we make the beat from scratch together, and then I also 90% of the stuff I'm co-writing with the artist if they allow me to, and then
Okay.
I'm sometimes writing the whole song for them. Then I'm vocal coaching them on the track. I'm engineering it, making sure they hit the right emotion because
Yeah.
that matters more than the technical aspect of it even, which people
Correct.
like the grab is what matters most. So sometimes they could technically spit something better that they feel like they got that T or that K better in the word, but I'm like, no, this take over here actually had the grab emotionally. So stuff like that, like as a producer, you're developing the artist as well, which is a lost art. That's what me and Smooth are always saying. Like no one's developing artists. They're kind of just like throwing them in the water and seeing what happens. But I like making people stronger. It's like their trainer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm in their corner. I'm making sure everything is A1 from the performance of the record to the production of the record. And then I walk them through campaigning it at the end, how to properly do content days. And I even film for them and you know what I'm saying, help them execute. I got my people calling me all the time like, yo, okay, I'm about to make a post. What caption do I write? I'll write the caption for them or tell them what to say. We schedule the post together. So like from front to back, like now even past the completion of the song to the pushing of the song, that's what producing is. You're
Yeah.
producing an artist, like a product. You're presenting them in front of the world like a certain way. That's the kind of producer that I like to be. So yeah, producing and developing is really not going on out there. And I think that's why people like coming to me, or once they come to me, like they don't want to go nowhere else. I
Yeah.
tell everyone too, like work with whoever else. As long as it's up to par, I'm with it. But I notice people have a certain attachment to getting produced. Once they experience that and they go other places, it's just not the same. And they just keep on coming back. And yeah, and for the most part, all my guys, they're beasting it. As long as an artist listens, like it's another thing too. Me and
Yeah.
Smooth always talking about like, don't be the artist that don't listen. Like when you find that production and development for real, listen to that team, whoever they are. If you're the artist who never listens, always debating, always disagreeing, I'm telling you right now, you run yourself in circles, right? But a lot of the most successful artists I know, no matter how talented they were, no matter how savvy they were, they listen. They're open-minded. They try new things. And sometimes when you tell them what they need to hear and not what they want to hear, they take it in and they apply it and they excel. So,
What's
yeah.
the percentage of like of artists who actually, on a 100%, of course, those that take in a good way what you have to say, and those that are resistant to it.
So back when I was like a little sweetheart, it was actually a higher ratio. Now I notice as the years gone on, it's kind of a generational thing.
Okay.
But nowadays it's less common for someone to listen. Before, there was a lot of people that knew the deal about listening. Like,
Yeah.
like what I'm saying was more commonly known amongst like the industry. And now there's so many people that are self-made, I guess, where they accidentally won a lottery ticket and their shit went viral. So they're not business savvy. Like, put it this way, would you ask financial advice from someone who just won the lottery? Like, they don't have no financial expertise. They can't tell you what they did, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And but imagine someone winning the lottery, be like, I'm a financial expert because look, I got millions of dollars and you don't. It's like, it's because you won the lottery. So a lot of artists get fooled by winning the lottery, and they think, oh, what I did to get me here, I don't need to listen to no one else because I'm here on my own terms. Like I did it, with no help.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you got an early game level unlocked,
Yeah.
like, through God's blessing and luck. And now more than ever, you got to study now and get that knowledge from the
Yeah.
people that got it for you, because that's what's going to give you longevity instead of just being like what do they call it?
Flash in a pan.
Yeah,
or-
flash in a pan.
Yeah.
I was gonna say spark in a barrel, but yeah. So that's kind of like, it's very common now for people not to listen. So when you find an artist that listens, that's more of a rare quality. But it's also rare that an artist makes it. So I attribute the ratio to the artists that are listening are the rare ones that are also making it to where they want to go. Whereas the artists who don't are all wondering why they get slept on all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's even other artists who make it like without listening because they won the lottery, and then they're wondering why it's not going further than where they're at.
Exactly.
So I say, no matter where you're at, I could meet Eminem tomorrow and I'd want him to listen. Like
Yeah.
he has way more experience than me and way more accolades. But if he's an artist that listens, and I am like, I want to resurrect your undeniability, like instead of this half and half people hate you, love you, like I want to resurrect your, like everyone calls you the greatest. And I would give him suggestions and things. I'd vocal coach him no matter where you're at in life. I can be like, I know what to do with your voice. I think we should try this. And if he was an open mind artist and we did a song that like, everyone loved and brought him back the way Lil Bow Wow just came back right now,
Yeah.
Brought him back in a way where everyone just generally loves it.
Yeah.
And it's not this like new, like, oh, like some people call him Michael Jordan, some people don't. Like, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. No matter where you're at, I feel like I try to maximize that.
You can give them something that they're missing, or that it can add to what they already have.
Like that's just based on knowledge. Like if I work with Travis Scott tomorrow and then all of a sudden everyone started listening to me, I'd be the same guy from before with the same knowledge I had.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden I have your acknowledgement, like you think that that's what made me worth listening to, when that was just like a trophy, like, that you didn't give me value until I earned it. So
Correct.
I tell people, like, this shit is like magicianry, and magicianry is not limited to what everyone's looking at on the surface. So if you find a magician, like, you hold on to that shit, you protect that shit, that's God, like, connecting you with somebody who can change your life, no matter what level y'all are at. That's why Drake knew 40 is my guy. When Lil Wayne came into his life and wanted to sign him, the famous story goes, his one stipulation was like, no, I sound different when I'm with 40. I want to, no matter what we do, I need him there,
Yeah.
And that is why he's where he's at. Billie Eilish too could have pimped herself out amongst all the engineers and producers that wanted to work after they started blowing up. She just used her brother. Like her brother was the producer, engineer, and co-writer. So she stuck with him the whole time to this day, and that's why she's where she's at. I think the most prominent people like found that magic and held on to it, and you're not chasing clout of names that like did something, and now you're just like, I should go work with them because they did this thing.
Because it's so easy to do that now. Like,
Yeah,
so
dude,
easy to there's no loyalty. It's just,
Everyone's on. I've led so many artists to like successes they never had before, and everyone comes out the woodworks trying to pick apart the machine or trying to lure them this way and that way. And I've had many of them fall for that, where they just start diluting the product, diluting the magic, and just going. And then years later that they can't get back, they realize, damn, I got to come back to the source. Like that's where the magic was. So there's two dimensions going on at all times. most people, that's why they don't make it, are looking at the surface dimension, what you see right here.
Yeah.
You're chasing clout, you're chasing names, you think things are only work this classic mathematical way. Then there's the behind the curtain, the invisible shit, the ones where we see like the code to the matrix, and we understand like that even the magic that you don't understand has a science to it. And when you find, like I said, that world right there, when you're lucky enough to find someone, even if they're unconscious of tapping into that, you'll know when someone's special. You won't know why, but you just know they are. It's because they're in that dimension. And when you master being like knowledgeable about that dimension, that's when you turn into one of those people where no matter who you meet or what you do, as long as you synergize with them, the shit is like an explosion. No matter where, like a small explosion in the first tier or a bigger explosion in later tiers when they're famous. Like whatever the case, if you master that dimension, life changes when y'all get together. You know?
I think it's so important because I always go back to me coaching baseball and softball, right? I've done that almost 20 years now. I never stop learning, and I'm never not coachable. Like if someone were to tell me, or I see something new that I'm like, well, I don't know if I like that, but if it seems to work, it's like, why not? You know,
Yeah.
Some people get stuck in the, well, I know what I'm doing, I got it.
Yeah.
And that's why they're, like you said, they're stuck on that same level. They don't grow from that. And then they wonder why they're just stagnant and not actually growing.
Yeah.
Because they're just refusing to learn and to listen to anybody that is wanting and pushing them. We always say, look, if we're pushing you, we're hard on you, is because we know you can do it and we know it can make you better.
Yeah.
But once you're not receptive to it anymore, we just, at most time, we just back away. We just, all right, I'm not going to keep wasting my breath.
Yeah. Best example, Rocky, right? Imagine him telling the old man behind him, like, yo, you don't fight no world championships. I'm the boxer, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and doesn't listen to him because he's not the star player in the ring. It's like, what? Like, he's going to be like, dude, shut up and run in front of this van, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Or get out of my gym. Like, so you should always listen to your trainer, and you should understand the dynamic of like the hierarchy of how you get better. And like I said, a lot of people want to be the king of their own kingdom, and that's cool. But every good king knows that the whole entire advisory board behind them is part of why they're so successful. And if there's a one person there playing the 10-man team, cool. Like as long as you put someone in that chair and you be in this front chair and you understand that dynamic, you'll be more successful than the person that doesn't.
Yeah.
And as far as the closed-mindedness, like it's like martial arts, or I call it like, or culinary arts. It's all the same thing. So a chef, right? And they're like, well, damn, octopus tentacle. I don't know about all that. It's like, yeah, but a master chef's gonna be like, well, let me taste that first and see what the big, well, that was different, but damn, actually kind of delicious. Actually, the more I eat it, the more I like it. Now I see the big deal. Yeah. Now I'm synthesizing it in my mind, breaking it down. Now I can cook that dish. So now I could, if I could cook that dish better than anyone else cooks it, I could talk shit about it if I want to at that point. But most people talk shit about a dish they've never cooked and knowledge they've never gained. And it's like, I used to,
never done.
Yeah, and I used to be that, like, I used to be a hippity hoppity, this is trash and this isn't hip hop head.
Yeah.
You know, when I first started back in like 2009 and stuff, I thought Eminem was the greatest, and like Busta Rhymes and The Game, and like anyone lyrical and anyone who wasn't, like, you know, when mumble rap first came out, or even like Juicy's J, like around a certain time, I just wasn't with it at like, I respected it, but I wasn't like enamored in it. Then when I started producing certain people, when I started really opening up my business to produce a wide array of people, I got a bunch of different genres coming to me, especially the turn up genres and stuff like that. Then the more I worked with them, the more I realized, dude, this is why this thing is special. These guys got something in the water that's making them like star quality, like the charisma, and then they're changing the game. They're adding a new element to the air molecule vibrations that we've never heard before, and it's making us like, even if we fight it and don't act like we don't like it, like it comes on the radio in the club, and you're like pretending you don't like it, but you're like, or even if you're like, man, this is trash, but I've heard it 30 times and my ear's not fatigued, you know? So you really have to like study things, master them, and then you could say your opinion about whatever. Like, so, but you'll come to find it's like golf. Yeah, it's boring to you if you don't watch it, but once you start watching, you start noticing the little nuances and things like the science behind it. And once you fully understand, now it's fun because you're watching it like as an expert in golf rather than watching it like a casual, they're just hitting the ball with a stick. Like, you know, it's way more than that.
The closed-mindedness too. Like if you go into something closed-minded, chances are you're not gonna like because you already didn't like it to begin with. You know, so now nothing that. So I think a lot of that has to do ego. If we nail it down to the because even if you do like it, there's some people that just because of their ego they don't want to say that you were right.
Yeah.
So they'll say, nah, I don't like it, but they probably go home and be like, damn, that shit was low key jamming.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't want to, I didn't want to feel stupid and agree with him because ego, especially with guys. I'm sure women are a little bit more open to it, but I could be wrong too. So I don't.
Women are receptive too, like just like guys, but also they'll also be critics too, though.
Yeah.
Like if everyone criticizes someone that's in their similar lane, so if they feel threatened by somebody's existence, that's usually when the baseless criticism comes. There's one thing if you're criticizing someone, like when I grade someone, I'm grading them like fairly, right? But if they lack something, I tell them straight up and bluntly. But I also give them a solution, like here's how we fix that.
Yeah.
Most people are like I said, deciding that they're experts in what's good and bad, and it's like, no, you're an expert in what you like.
Yeah.
Your whole life, we all are, right? But you really got to open your mind to this is all colors, and
people are comfortable in their comfort zone. To be able to step out and open yourself up to something different is not easy because again, it's always that's why they call it the comfort zone because you're comfortable in that space.
Yeah.
But when you try to like, no, you know what? I think if you try this, and then when they do, they find out like, damn, this is a whole nother world that I never thought of.
I do that all the time. Dude, I had the rappers singing falsettos. I got the singers rapping. Like I usually throw something at someone when I feel like it can work. And a lot of times they're uncomfortable. They're self-conscious about it. It's like they're doing a workout they've never done before. And they're like, man, this muscle feels weird. It's like, because you've never worked it out before. But you're going to be the most muscular person in this gym if you do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And every workout that's more uncomfortable is usually the one that's getting you the strongest. So I usually am doing that, like giving artists workouts they need, not the ones they want. Because everyone wants to do the one they're good at already. It's like, that's not going to change nothing for you. We're going to do this crazy shit, or we're going to do this leg day, even though you only work out arms. And trust me, it's going to round you out. And some of them find that that's their favorite thing to do now. Now, some of those rappers sing nothing but falsettos, and they used to be turn-up rappers, and now they make music like only singing like vibey falsetto music, and it works, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always trying to find like the hidden special power inside someone. And it's usually, I tell everyone like, it's uncomfortable, but I have to give them two versions. I give them their version and the Clef version when we run into like a standstill.
I like that.
Because I say, I'm your advisor as a producer, like, Mr. President, please do this. I'll urge you all day. I'm passionate about it, but you make that
at the end of the day,
veto.
it's your.
You can make the veto and I won't like it, but I got to go with it. So now I give them two versions. Like this one artist, like I said, I had him do a hook a certain way, high, and then a low octave version, and he was so self-conscious, like, nah, this make me sound soft. I don't know, like, like I don't know how I don't like it, like, and it's like, hey, here's the Clef version and here's your version, right? Go show everybody. You know what I'm saying? He came back like, man, fuck you, dude. He was like, everyone loves that version. You were right. And he never doubted it again. He started singing like that in every track after that. So I was like, yeah, like really, you just got to get out of your own way, or you need someone to pull you out of your own way. And the artist, like I said, he listened. No matter what, as egotistic as he was, and how he's like, I got this image, I can't be doing soft shit like that. Diddy said, oh man, God rest Diddy's public soul because it's ruined now. But Diddy told Biggie that when he was like, man, I don't know about that it was all a dream, that beat. He's like, man, that's some soft shit, bro. Like I rap hard shit, like the sample they were using. He's like, man, that's like a pop song. Like, I don't know about all that, bro. And he's like, trust me, it's gonna be the biggest record you ever did. And he was right. So it's like, that's the artist that listens against their better judgment usually is the artist that makes it. And it's not like you're supposed to superficially just like let people do whatever with you. Like you can tell when someone's doing something that ain't it, right? That's why I'm saying you gotta like recognize when you found someone who actually gives you something that works. And then also when you taste it, usually if you love it while you're tasting it, as it goes along, you like what people are saying about it, how it makes you feel proud of it. That's a good sign that it's not them putting you into a realm you're not supposed to be in. They're actually woke you up to a realm you didn't know was possible. So I say, and I always tell you, it don't mean you got to stop doing something, but if something else is better received by everybody, it's usually a sign that that's your pocket. Like that's good. Like you want everyone. People are like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I just make it for myself. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
then you and 12 people are gonna jam that whole hard. Like everyone else is gonna be, or you and the fans you've accrued since since at a certain point, like who are blindly in love with you and will eat up anything you throw them, regardless. That cool, but it's never gonna go outside of that fan base at that point if you were someone with one.
Okay.
So yeah.
No, that's what's up, man. That's definitely some good advice. I hope artists out there are taking this knowledge and even if you don't, because I agree 100%. Because there's certain artists that I've worked with, and not that I'm a producer, but I like promoting wise, trying to help them with their, and I'm kind of like, yeah. So I knew a few guys and girls who did the rapping and the singing thing, and I'm like, but when they would sing, to me that was better. Yeah. And then plus there's a million people doing rap. It's like if you step out the box a little bit and maybe do a little. And I would always say it's not that you can't do both. Yeah. But if you're able to, if you're able to kind of like watch when you post your R&B stuff and watch when you post your rap stuff. Like which one gets.
No one wants to grade themselves. They're so afraid. Yeah. They just want you to say, hey, call me an A+, like just because I exist. Like, it's like, dude, you got to grade yourself if you, all right, I have this phenomenon happen with a lot of artists, but because I'm a magician, they kind of get caught up in it. So it's like a double-edged sword. I tell anyone, hey, I can make you do anything. It's going to be great. I'm going to make it sound great. But if you're not naturally talented at it, or if you are not good at it, it's going to be a lot of me making it sound great more than you being good at it, right? Yeah. So I have a lot of people that try to do stuff. You could tell they just want to be a singer because it feels cool. Like they come in as a rapper with a voice that they have no musical training, and they're like over here trying to do these singing songs in here, and I'm telling them, because I'm blunt and a vocal coach, so I'm like, that's not good. I need to hear this, and that, and you can just tell their heart just wants to sing so bad. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not training yourself to get better at it. You're just doing it. It's like someone want to play basketball and they're just slapping the ball up and down. They're just like, I'm a basketball player, right? Acknowledge me. And it's like, bro, like work on your skills, like before I acknowledge you. Yeah. So luckily studio is a magicianry, so you can hide someone's flaws and everyone will think they can sing when they can't. Yeah. But I always tell everyone, hey, that's temporary. Like you better be getting better in the meantime, or else I'm just wasting my time here making you look good. So yeah, there are people that always want to play the game with nothing but their left hand when that's their weak hand, and they almost resent their strong hand because everyone tells them it's so good all the time. They're like, but I don't want you to just know me for this. Like people take for granted what they have, what God gave them, like our bodies, right? Like we'll take care of our car and keep it nice and clean, but God gave you like this nice like body, and then you put fucking nicotine in there and fucking sugar in there and all this fucked up shit, right? Yeah. So whenever something is given to you naturally, I noticed the natural talent, people are like, they almost turn against it because they're like, I don't want to just be known for that. It's like, dude, fucking make that work first and get somewhere first before you even start thinking like that.
And then you,
because most people don't have anything.
Get there first.
Yeah,
basically.
Like most people aren't blessed with that. Like, so don't turn on your own. Girls, like, I don't want them looking at me like I'm just pretty. I'm like, you know what? How many not pretty people there are wishing that people would look their way, and you're over here complaining about everyone turning their head.
And I hate to say that it's about looks, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, aesthetically,
when you're an artist, you're a public image. The first thing people see is that. I don't care how talented you know how many people I've heard, he or she's really dope, especially females, and I'm gonna say that because it happens a lot more with the women. Man, she's really dope, but she looks the looks. They'll say that, and they'll literally dismiss that person solely based on their looks. I hate it, but that's how it is. That's
it's like you can't dismiss science or disprove gravity. Like, I mean, I know flat earthers can all day, but I'm just saying, like, when part of the magicianry is knowing science and applying, quantum science to it. Like, but to say that there's no rules, it's like, well, even the people that break the rules break it in a formulaic way. So when it comes to visuals, it's like, you have to find something aesthetically pleasing that works for you. And everyone's always searching for it, right? But a lot of people that did find something, they turn against it. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, I feel like everyone's just looking at me for this. And it's like, well, until you're on tier 2, how about you get there first with that? And then when you want to change it, when you have an audience that'll do whatever you want them to do, then you can change your image however you want and start experimenting. You know what I'm saying? Everyone did that. Billie Eilish did, everybody did that. So, but that's visuals. And then talent-wise too, I don't want everyone to know me for the rapping. It's like, well, how many people know you right now for the rapping? Like, no one really. Like, so it's like, make it somewhere first with your talent, then expand that. But I tell everyone too, don't just take it not seriously. Like if you want to sing, you better get good at singing and work on it and go on YouTube tutorials or train or do warm-ups. Like you better be taking it as serious as a singer takes it, or else you're just that person like, hey, like I wear a rocket scientist name tag, now call me a rocket scientist just because I'm here doing it. It's like, well, how many books did you read? How many, like, what are you doing to be a rocket scientist? Like, you know, if you're just doing it and having fun and like, you know, clowning around in your garage, working on experiments, that's not a rocket scientist. Like, you know, so that's what I tell people, like, and people want to rap. I'm like, well, are you trying to get good at it or are you just trying to be cool? And, you know, like you got to do both. You know, it is a cool thing when you get good at it. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, no, that's definitely some man. You dropping some gems, man. I'm hoping, you know, again, that the artists, we have a lot of course, artists that watch, you know, the episodes, so they hopefully they take a lot of this into consideration and actually apply it, because you know, taking it in is one thing, but actually applying it is different. So I want to talk a little bit about you got a lot of placements on Power, I think. And Power is one of my favorite shows. I was gonna ask what episode.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I loved Power so much. Like when I found out I got the Power placement. Like I mean, we always know where we're aiming for usually, so they'll send me a prompt. Like and they're like, yo, we need a love scene, it's for Power and this and that, right? And so I made a song in like 2 hours that day, and then I called a singer, Amani, over to come sing it. I was like, I got this Power placement, we're working on this. So, you know, laid it down in an hour and a half. I felt like we were cutting it close, so I jumped on the second verse real quick and then sent it in by the deadline, right?
Yeah.
And then we made it. And the song was crazy because like the hook, I made it something they would remember forever. It was like, I need that, dig, 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 dig. It's her singing that, you know what I'm saying? So I knew like if anything, they're gonna know that that's that song.
What season and episode was it, or what scene specifically?
Episode 4 of season 6, when Tasha and Quentin are in the daycare and they're messing around for the first time.
Oh yeah.
It's like her new love interest for a little while that season.
So that song.
Yeah. So like do drive stripping off of my legs.
Okay.
Tease me. Yeah. So like that song playing. That's the song I need. That
I'm currently on that season right now. I'm rewatching it for like the 10th time because Entourage, and so I love that we're on this because I'm huge on like the soundtracks to shows or even movies, but like Entourage and Power to me are two shows that had some of the best music. Different genres, right? Because I would always go and be like, Siri, what's the name of that song? Because I'd hear something at the either ending credits or at the beginning or during a certain scene. I'm like, yo. And I actually found out, like, a friend of mine, he's from New York, but he lives in Cali now, Navy Jones Locker. He's got 2 songs on Power episodes as well. But I remember hearing it at home, and I was like, I did it, and then when I looked up the name, I was like, wait, I think I know this guy. Like, I had just met him probably a couple weeks before that, and I thought that was so dope. But I think people strive for that, but how did you fall into that, and because I think when I first not met you, but when we first kind of came into communication, I think you had Peacock, Bel-Air, and a few others. But I saw in your profile you've added, more, that you've done more since then. But how did that come about? Like, I mean,
so I tell everyone all the time, you got to get out of this small sandbox. You got to go places, right? You got to go do business where it's being done. So the way I met the people that I work with who get me those placements was. I developed an artist, Angel Centron, at the time. I was out there in LA meeting with the guy that wanted to sign her at the time, named Alfonso. Me and him were going to do a partnership in production and start developing artists and things like that. He was personally meeting with the co-stars, which is who I work with now.
Okay.
He was going to sign himself to them, and then he was going to sign Angel to like an umbrella deal where it's a trigger deal with him. And he's going to invest and do 50-50 everything with her. And then he's going to split 50-50 with the co-stars who would be overseeing the whole thing. Adding their resources and things like that.
Correct.
Right? So I come in a meeting with him and they're about to leave. He's like, oh, my meeting's running a little late, but come on, I want you to meet these guys and stuff. So we all start talking and we start hitting it off. And they brought up Angel because Angel was going to turn down that deal, and I'm her main producer and developer at that time. So they're asking me questions. Well, why? So I tell them the contract negotiations that she's looking for, because it was like she had already said no, but I was like, well, we could turn it around if we change this thing. I'm good at redlining shit and you know what I'm saying. And her management team was also good at it too.
Okay.
So Alfonso didn't even know that co-stars would be willing to negotiate the contract. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, give me the ball, I got you. Like, you know. So they were like open to every idea. Like, okay, yeah, we can change that. Like, so we started writing everything down. We turned the deal around. She said yes, and then that's how we first got to work with them. Me and her went out to LA, worked with them like on a whole EP together and stuff like that. And when I was with them, I started showing them my other artists. So I'm showing them artists like the guy I was working with at the time, Swanee Ivy. I'm showing them Amani. I'm showing them pretty much every artist I work with in all the songs, and they're loving all of it. So they're like, yo, we work on shows with a lot of music supervisors. They're like, you know, they wanted to do the deal that they were doing with Angel, but like with some of my guys, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've linked a lot of people up with co-stars, and they would come into their situation and help them too. So we started working on placements. They would send me prompts, like when I'm back in San Antonio. They're like, we're looking for this and that. You got anything? And then I started just being like, man, let me just hit the bullseye and make it from scratch. You know, because I could look for records I already have, but usually it's always like hit or miss. So I'm like, let me just like once they'd send me a prompt, I'd make something right there.
Yeah.
Call somebody if I needed a female vocalist or a male vocalist, or I'd use myself, you know? Yeah. So that's how it came about, but it came from me constantly traveling out to LA, making plays out there.
Networking. Then
I meet people, and then they always love what they hear and see. So then they send me work later. And I was in LA like every month for like years. Like people thought I lived there because I was out there just all the time.
Yeah. And
I'd come back here, and then I'd go right back out there with another artist. And a lot of artists I was developing, I was telling them like, if we go do our moves out there instead of here, like on 410 and shit, like, you know, it's gonna look better for your narrative. You're gonna come back out. Everyone's gonna be rolling out the red carpet when you come back with each accolade, you know? So every trip was phenomenally productive, always led us to new connections, and I've gotten a lot of other artist placements because of that as well, not just myself, you know. So Amani's on Power, you know, or I even got a stripper I worked with, like you know, like I met a stripper, she came to me for music, you know, and by the second song, I was like, yo, I got to do this Meg Thee Stallion type record for the hype, you know. So I wrote it all, demoed it, like had her rap it. And then boom, got her a placement out of nowhere on the hype on HBO.
Oh, nice.
So like, you know, like it's like that.
Yeah.
I tell people like when they're like, how, and I'm like, you got to go do business where it's being done. And in Hollywood, that's where business is being done. In Atlanta, that's where it's being done. Miami, New York, but I put LA over everything, because you go there and you're like, yes, it's people, nothing but people like me. I'm not like a rare case that everyone turns against in my hometown. Over there, it's like normal to be like this, so everyone's excited and collaborative, like, and like, yo, oh, you're good too, so am I, let's work, you know. So I've met so many people out there, and so many connections opened up, and then I bring that knowledge back home, and then I share it with the rest of the sandbox, you know.
And I was gonna ask, like, are you native San Antonio, born and raised?
Born and raised in Austin, and then I moved to San Antonio when I was 14. And then I was there in high school until I went to college, like when I was 17. Okay. And then I came back like 8 years later, like in 2015.
How would you describe the music scene in San Antonio?
You know, what's funny is when I first got here, like in 2015, like as a producer, I noticed it was a lot of fucking star power in the water. Like people like Gabby Annalise, Jose Tunon at the time. There's this guy named Joey D. Now he goes by Joseph Friend, but there was an Angel too. But I noticed, I was like, all these kids figured out a way to have giant organic followings. They were blowing up on Instagram. They'd have meet and greets, and lines would be around. Like kids would cry taking pictures with these guys. Oh wow! So I, like, all these people found me. They heard about me through one singer I worked with named Chelsea G at the time. And they all started running in my door, right? But I noticed, like, whoa, these kids got shit going on. But they didn't know what they were doing. They were just doing it. Yeah. So what's cool is I had a deal at the time with my group, the Mutants, an EDM deal, and I was learning a lot of contract negotiation and how to properly execute from being involved in that, you know. So I was bringing that to them, and that's when me and people like Angel started working a lot, because I started bringing them out to Austin where I worked with my group, and like, you know, we started doing shit like Costa Rica songwriting retreats and all kinds of crazy stuff, you know. So it made it big real fast. But my vision of the music community back then was like a bunch of this is like little Hollywood over here, and no one knows it. And when I met like even one of the artists, Swanee Ivy, that I had met, and then his whole crew, and then really that whole community of kids that went to like Brennan and Stevens, I was like, dude, y'all got the sauce like around here. Like San Antonio
What do
when
you
I
think is
first,
missing? Like, what do you think is missing with like? Because
what's missing is music business.
okay,
Everyone has the sauce in certain, like in the far west. I'm sorry, but I don't know what's in the water out there in the far west of San Antonio. But they were born in the sauce. Like they have style. They know how to. Even people that aren't doing music or anything at all still
Yeah.
carry themselves like a
Yeah.
celebrity. And I know a few people like that too, where I'm just like, y'all just have a star power charisma in you, right? Then other people have this crazy talent, right? And they just been going in circles with this talent, wondering why the fuck. They're thinking like they're waiting for something to happen and waiting for someone to find them. I tell everyone your lack of want to and your lack of music business is why the music community is the way it is. So a lot of people are like, you know, San Antonio's this and that, or everyone hates. And I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, in Hollywood, everyone welcomes this kind of like uh like if you're above the bar, they
Yeah.
welcome that.
Yeah.
In a place where not everyone's above the bar,
Yeah.
the majority of the community will turn against that if they've been working so hard so long and some guy who just has it comes along just fucking stomping on everyone. Like they're gonna hate on it. They don't want to acknowledge it. That doesn't fit in their universe of where things are supposed to sit. So usually like Edward Scissorhands, everyone's gonna turn against you at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying? You're special at first, everyone loves it, then everyone turns against it. So in San Antonio, that's one element, but the real element, I'm like, it wouldn't even matter if everyone liked each other or not. If everyone was doing good music business, this place would thrive, but no one even fucking knows what that is.
Yeah.
They've never looked up a music business, anything in their life.
Yeah.
They've seen some Facebook articles and they think
Yeah.
they know something,
Yeah.
or they see some opinions of people posting that do know shit, but they don't ever look up contract negotiation or how splits work. They don't even realize, rappers don't even realize they're not really truly buying ownership of a beat. They're buying rights to use it in a new composition. They don't even understand the beat by itself is a whole separate composition that you have to pay thousands for to buy that producer out of the custody of their child, like which costs a lot. So it's like no one knows what they're doing on that small level. Then on the big level, no one really knows what they're doing when they get offers and stuff. And they don't even know how to go attract offers or even where to put their music. They're just like making music, putting it out for 12 people, hoping for the best. And no plan, no content going out, no nothing.
I say that all the time. People like, especially in these days, because I grew up in an era where you had to get out there. You had physical product. You had CDs, even cassette tapes at one point. But really, when the CD thing jumped off, people were, again, you know, Master P famously known for selling out the trunk. You know,
Yeah.
and I know in Houston it was really big. I literally see different people to this day that would be driving around like or posted up inside the mall. Hey, I got my CD, I got my mixtape, $5, whatever, and they're making cash like literally right there and then. Now, to them, promoting right is sharing it on Instagram, putting it in their story, or the one thing that I hate and I constantly will always say this: spamming my inbox with your shit, like with your music, with your reels. And then you don't, a lot of these guys don't even follow me. Just last night, somebody sent me something about watch my stuff, bro. Like, one, you don't follow me. Two, you're not even asking, you're telling me.
So these guys don't understand, right?
Yeah.
So there's a certain way, if you're gonna directly inbox people, there's a certain way you gotta do it. It's like basketball, right? You can throw up an ugly shot, and even if it makes it, like you can work on your finesse.
Yeah.
So there has to be a finesse in when you hit up someone to invite them to share something. But even then, you can't rely on that. What these people are missing is the fact that it's like, why am I going to ask you to check out my shit? Why don't I pay Facebook or Instagram, like every other business does, to put my product in front of your face for me?
Yeah.
So that you just see it scrolling across your shit, and then you interact with it, and do it enough to where you're seeing it every day, and everyone's mind works the same way. You start seeing some shit every day, you're like, oh, that's blowing up. Let me check that out. So that's what they need to be doing, but they're still begging like a bum under a bridge for a nickel. Yeah. Please listen to my music. No, that's not going to work. No one's going to think that's cool. No one's going to be a fan. When I give a homeless person some money, I'm feeling sorry for them, and I'm giving them something like to light up their day. Like it's a charity case. If that's how you want people to view you in music, then go ahead and keep begging for acknowledgement just because you exist. But business people, it's like, how do I get my shit in front of their face? It used to be a CD, but that shit is dead. People are doing it to this day. It's like you haven't caught up with the times. The new billboard on the highway is not the billboard on the highway. It's the ad that flashes across someone's screen, or just their home feed paying for yourself to get across that home feed, paying the company themselves that own that
It's crazy because on Instagram, and I've done it before, and I'm not an artist, but I've done it for like events where if I'm having a big event or annual event, I'll pay for that. And it'll be like $25-$30.
Yeah.
And it'll reach much more people because people be like, damn, I see it on my timeline. Or
that's what Toyota does to sell cars. That's what Apple does to sell iPhones. So when people are like, well, I want to do it without paying for nothing, it's like, oh my God, that's why you're never going to make it.
That's why you're never
because you're not thinking like a business. You're thinking like a person who's got pride and ego.
Yeah.
And Toyota doesn't care about pride and ego. They want you to see that car flashing across your screen. So you are like, hey, I need to go out and buy one of those. That's how people need to treat their music. And that's just one facet. If you want to do it without spending any money, here's what you lazy motherfuckers have to do. You have to become a content creator. Oh, I don't like TikTok. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like doing, I want someone to do it for me. No. You got 2 thumbs and a fucking phone.
Yeah.
Make high quality content. High quality, not shitty. But you know what? If you eccentrically attack it, you can even use shitty quality. But really what you need to do is every single day, you need to post content and keep yourself in people's face like the way major labels do.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, no one's gonna do it for you, and you'll be like, why did Ice Spice make it and not me? My music's way better than hers. Why? Because either they're paying to keep themselves in front of everyone's face, or some of these guys, like a guy I know, Ominous the Monster, he decided for months, I'm gonna post every single day like a new, he bought a high quality camera, he started having his girl film him, and he was just making content with captions and just his face of the songs, and one of ours went viral, and it opened the door. Another song of his went viral 8 days later. Then the rest of his catalog started catching them streams. We got almost 2 million streams on our EP now because of that moment, and his rest of his catalog, he's gotten even more millions. So he's made like, I want to say like 20K in streams since then, and I've made a good 5K just from our song.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where he didn't spend money, but he decided, I'm going to eccentrically attack every single day. And if your music's good and your content is good, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep, it's old to you, new to them. So his song from 4 years ago blew up even bigger than our song together.
Consistency, man.
So it's
I
like,
talk about it all the time. Like, a lot of artists take these breaks, and it's like you haven't really done anything though. And then everything is on your phone. It's not like you have to. Because I get some people that tell me, man, I get tired of having to make content. I'm like, man, you're just recording. I mean, well, if that's the case, then stay working your 9 to 5. Keep doing this thing, something you hate and don't like, as opposed to doing something that can be fun and
this is good problems to have.
Yeah.
I'd rather be tired doing what I love any day than doing something I complain about every day that I don't want to be doing. So it's like, man, get up, make that content. Stop being too cool, like you're too cool to make content. Everyone needs to be a content creator. You are now a movie or a TV show everyone's watching, and if your channel goes dark, nobody's watching it, and you got to start all over when you come back. So it's like, if you keep throwing wood on that fire and don't let it die, you're gonna make it, because you're going an extra mile no one else will go.
Yep.
This whole entire industry is about going further than anyone's willing to go to be successful. If you're not willing to do that, then you can't complain when you fall short. Like, you know, you need to be doing things that no one's thought of. You need to be doing more, like it's like running. You need to be running more miles than everyone else if you want to be more fit. It's the same thing in music. Like, as a content creator, you need to be doing more content than everyone else is doing. La Russell, perfect example. That guy posts 3 posts a day. He's like, I released 30 albums this year. Like, he just went straight, I'm just gonna eccentrically attack for years. And 1,500 videos in a year. Like, this guy is doing one-take videos though, but he's doing them all day, every day. He's doing content days all the time. So he posts 3 times a day. He blew himself up. Everyone knows him as a major independent now. Boom. If you want it to not be the lottery ticket, then you have to do shit like that. If you're not doing that, if you right now are watching this video and you have good music and you got talent and you got the it factor, you got all the pillars except this one pillar, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have this long, hard road, and you're just gonna have the same chance of making it as Theo has of winning the scratch off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what the game you're playing, just waiting for something to happen and just putting it out. Oh, I just do this for me. All right, cool. Then be cool when it doesn't work out.
Yeah, then don't get mad when you're not mentioned in the top categories
25
or the top whatever. And people get so pressed about that. Even with shout out to my guy Latinx Hip Hop, when he does his version of those things, and I always comment every year, oh, this is that time of year where rappers get mad. And, you know, and then it'll be a guy that hasn't dropped a song all year talking about why I ain't on there. I'm one of the coldest in the city. But you ain't dropped nothing. No one's seen you in
It's so
2
sad.
years.
It's so sad when people fall into the comments and actually talking about themselves. Like, yo, what about me though? I'm just like, oh man, that's what. But you know, those are smart moves. The list get people talking about it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not on any list. Like, you know, like real people that are actually doing this in the industry don't care about that. Like,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? The list is never going to be who it actually is, but it's who. It is a good representation of who's reaching what community. Whoever made that list, wherever their neighborhood is at and wherever they're listening to music, those people reach them, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like statistics. You got to grade yourself. So the more lists you see and you're seeing all these other, those people are reaching those regular folk who are making these lists.
Correct.
So if you're not reaching them, that's why I'm telling people, start making your content and putting yourself in everyone's face. Because you know what? When I took my own advice and I started making my content, I started getting acknowledged from the people I always wanted acknowledgement from.
Yeah.
Now, I always say, I'm never looking for it, but I am a human, right?
Yeah.
So a good example is the event that my guy, Alan, just threw, Mind and Soul Music. He threw his art and hip hop event, right?
Okay.
When that first happened, some artists I produced, they were a part of that event, right? And man, you see something like that and you're like, man, I want to get acknowledged like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that looks dope. So I was like, yeah, one day I want to be part of one of those. I want someone to hit me up and want to do a painting of me and want to, you know, acknowledge me for my contributions to the city. But you know, if it hasn't happened yet, I'm just going to keep working harder until it's undeniable. But you know what's funny? The answer wasn't how hard I was working. The answer was whether I'm doing content, keeping myself in everyone's face. That homeboy was always watching and showing love in the DMs and stuff like that. But when I started doing my content for like a month straight, then I get an invite from him saying, hey, I'm doing art and hip hop. Like it was like a dream come true kind of on like this level, but my own personal dream come true. I was like, he doesn't realize it. I mean, it's probably gonna sound corny me saying it, but I'd always wanted him to hit me up like that, you know? So I'm telling people, whether it's a small level or whether it's a big level, when you finally get executives hitting you up, your content is the key. If you are not doing it every day, like when I fall off of it, nothing happens. When I fall onto it, it happens, right? And then just like the gym, you just got to train yourself to just, it be second nature. You're just in there every day for a year straight. Your life will be different at the end of that year if you do that.
Correct.
But if you're not doing that, you're going to be seeing those lists go up and you're not on it. You're going to be seeing all that, you know what I'm saying? Like
you're going to keep being in your feelings.
And you're one viral moment away from everyone changing their mind, from everyone jumping on your train. Yeah. So when you're mad about someone else's train going that you see, don't even look at that. That's science. That's what happens when something happens finally, a lottery's won, or if they worked hard enough to make that fucking shit go off, right? So now you look, what did they do? You look at what they're currently doing and you study that and you're like, let me apply it to my formula. Boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it involves investment. It involves advertisement of your product. Don't just make the shit, sell the shit.
Yeah.
You know? And it involves eccentricity. Like you must be crazy about this beyond however crazy anyone else is. You must be attacking it. When you wake up, you must be thinking about it. When you go to sleep, you must be thinking about it. And thinking is not enough. You must be doing and executing it and throwing shit out there. And on top of that, the last final piece, because other people are like, I've been doing that. Nah, there's a lot of you doing that without grading yourself. So you're doing it shitty. You're throwing a lot of shitty shit out there that's not polished, right? So the whole entire time of beyond all this, that'll definitely work. Make yourself better. You need to be crazy about your own training. Yeah. You can't just keep doing this for fun because it feels good and just enjoy. Like it's like get better at it. What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? How do I improve the weaknesses? How do I capitalize on the strengths? If you are not doing that every day with yourself, doing a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then figuring out the gaps and strengthening them, and grading yourself, oh man, I'm a B+. I'm not an A like I thought. How do I get to an A? You start finding the answers, get to an A+. If you're not doing those things, then it's gonna be a long, hard, unlucky road, you know? So that's what it is.
Nah, hey, y'all heard it here, man. The man who's been there and not only has done it, but is continuing to do it, is telling you guys, giving you the formula. And it's stuff that I know I've been saying myself because, and I say it because, I'm gonna say this, we both say it because we've done it.
Yeah.
From where I was to where I am now, it's a constant elevation. It's a constant. It's grown. You know, so we're speaking from experience.
Exactly.
It's consistency. The podcasting world, we've won 5 awards since we've done this. We're like in year 3. We won 5 awards. It got to the point where like when we're nominated, I don't even ask people to vote anymore. I let the people decide if y'all feel we're good enough. And then last year we won an award, and I didn't ask anybody to vote. I don't even know how many people voted or how it went, but we ended up winning. But I love that because that just tells me that the people really rock with what we're doing. We're consistent with it. We're continuously putting out product, and we're constantly growing. And there's no other way to really put it. Again, guys, you have to take what he's saying or what we say and put it and apply it in your life. You can't just, oh no, you right, bro, and then you go back home and you go back to doing the same thing you were doing. And
or like he doesn't know because he's not a famous producer, and it's like, dude, as someone who's worked with famous artists, like people don't realize behind the curtain it's completely different than what you think. That's why I tell people, don't wait for someone to get the trophy to listen to them. If you apply their shit and it works, and a lot of artists have applied what I've advised them to do, and it works. Smooth Vega's such a good example of that. Anyone that listens to Smooth Vega accelerates ×3. Like, he is good at giving you a plan, finding your gaps, strengthening them, figuring out what you got to do. And then you link with him, you follow his regiment, boom. Like, if people were worried about where he was currently at before they listen to him, then they're going to not benefit at all, and they're going to stay stagnant no matter where they're at, right? So that's what I tell people. I'm like, if you find it, it's as simple as this. If someone gives you some advice and it works out for you, chances are you need to ask them some more. Like, keep listening to that. Add them to your team, and follow that regimen. Because if you don't, it's not going to work out. And if you're chasing the tail of people that already did this with someone else, and they have clout now, and you're like trying to chase that person and that person. I want them to tell me what's up. Like, what I'm saying? You're chasing their successes.
Correct.
Then you're going to miss out on your own machine that God gave you, that you're like too busy looking up to like realize is there, And it's not every day that happens. So if you are blessed with a team who knows what they're doing, hold on to that shit. Do not be one of those ungrateful, blind artists that's trying to treat everyone like a stepping stone and just end up splat on their face, or even end up successful surrounded by strangers wanting to kill themselves. Don't be one of those guys. Like, for real. Hold on.
Telling the honest to God truth, because I don't work with a bunch of them like that they got what they wanted for the most part, and then they felt, well, I no longer need him.
That's the worst ever.
And then they go to where they thought the grass was greener, and
it doesn't work out.
I can send you their page and they're not doing anything anymore. It's like they faded into obscurity all of a sudden. It's like,
no.
Okay, I'm not, and again, this is not me saying that everybody needs to lock in with me or you, but you do have to listen. Like, especially if you've never done it or been there before, take it from someone. Look at that person and say, okay, let me see. Is he doing what he's telling me is it working for him? Yeah, you know what? I see what he's doing. I see what's going on. They're doing their thing. You know what? It might be wise to listen.
Yes.
Because don't get me wrong, everybody's a critic, right? Like, people, oh, you should do this, but it comes from people who've never done it.
Yeah, like somebody's cousin in a session.
Like, oh, bro,
I'm just like, hey man, don't bring your cousin next time. Like, what I'm saying?
You dropped nothing but gems today, man. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time, bro. I know we could definitely go on, and if you're ever in Houston, we can definitely do a follow-up, man.
Oh, I'm coming through.
Yeah, just let me know. Man, if you got any last-minute shout-outs, bro, before we get out of here, you go ahead.
Shout out to all my guys, what I'm saying? J Book out Chris Waters, what I'm saying? The trifecta. Shout out Smooth Vega.
Yeah.
Shout out everyone I work with, what I'm saying? Like, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, so get ready for that. And like, I'm on the spot, so I only said a couple names. There's 50 names to say. I'm not going to say all of them right now. So,
everybody.
Maybe cut this out or.
No, I love it. People tell me I hate when you ask me this, and I'm like, it's coming.
No, my last interview, I put out a list, like,
oh, wow.
Like I named like 100 names, but I'm not going to do that. So.
I didn't bring her up, but I did want to shout out Beso. I saw that y'all.
Oh, yeah. I love Beso.
Yeah, we just said the same thing. I met her. She came to Houston. She's got something going on with GT Garza. Shout out to GT Garza. They played some of the stuff they're working on. An amazing talent, amazing voice. And I just knew when I saw y'all were working together, I said, yeah, that's gonna be major.
Yeah, man. I love Beso. she's a monster in
Yeah.
the studio, man. Like it's easy. We got perfect chemistry. You know, we got more shit coming down the pipeline. You've seen us release stuff, you know,
Cool.
and it goes back. She's doing it right. Like we're doing it right now. Like the content day, we'll film multiple content on one day, then we'll start dropping. So
Nice.
she's following the plan. She listens. I
Yeah.
love like, and like I said, her talent is just undeniable. So
Yeah.
she's definitely gonna go places.
An amazing voice.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
can't wait to see the elevation. You know, we
Yeah.
had it. We did an interview with her in Houston, a short interview.
Yeah.
I think she did mention y'all were working together, but I don't remember. But yeah, because I remember telling her, yeah, I got a link with him. And I kept saying, I got to come out here, and we're finally out here, man. So again, man, thank you, bro, for dropping so many gems. Because it oftentimes when I say it, it's because they see me, I guess, there, and it's kind of like, you really ain't there yet.
No, I tell
and it's cool. Like,
you know
don't,
what? You know what's funny is they're more likely to listen to a stranger than they are to, like I tell people, the closer you are to me, the more you like don't listen. But then someone I barely know is gonna like take my shit like the Bible.
Yeah.
And I notice it's just like that. Me and Smooth talk about that all the time too, because we go through that with artists that we develop. Like some of the artists I develop, they listening to him more, you know what I'm saying? Because they see me all the time and I'm just so accessible, and coming from me, I could say the exact same thing he does, but they're gonna hang on to his words, like, you know what I'm saying, and apply it, right?
Yeah.
But then other people complain that that's how I, like, they'll tell someone to do something, they won't listen to them, but as soon as I say it, now all of a sudden they're doing it. So it's like a cycle of that, right?
Correct.
So recognizing that and then like working around that is usually how, not losing patience, like composure is everything in this game. That's the other last step. If you maintain composure all the time and everything and let it not be emotional, don't let emotions run you, actually, that alone will make you more successful than everyone else, truthfully. You know what I'm saying?
That is honest, because there's been time where I wanted to lose it because shit does go bad, and it has gone bad, and especially I'm in my 5th year of where like I've locked in. I've had the brand for 15 years, but it's been 5 years where I just every day, and over the years it's been like, do I really want to do I really want to keep? But I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And every time something bad would happen, it was like, okay, now I fueled my passion even more. I wanted to prove the people who thought I wasn't gonna succeed to actually succeed.
Yeah.
You know, the people that walked out on me, I wanted to show them that I could do this podcast without you guys.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be successful, and it has been. To the point where like now we're monetized on YouTube. It's just the whole thing has just grown, and it's funny because all the bad shit that has happened it almost turned around into something even better for me.
Every time God is real and karma is real. I tell people all the time, I've lived by that all my life, like you know, ever since I've been saved. And I'm telling you that every bad thing that's happened to me has been like negated by 10 beautiful life-changing things right after. So really, it's not really bad things happening. Sometimes God knows that you have a good heart and you're not gonna move pieces out of your way because you're too kind to do that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna separate yourself from a bad relationship because you'll never do that, because you're not like that. You never give up on people. So sometimes God's gonna make it so, and it seems like you're being ripped away from or it seems like someone's getting the best of you, when like, nah, that's just God moving this brick wall out the way. You didn't even realize it was a brick wall. And then once that thing is gone out of your life, all these doors open up and you're like, damn, I would have never moved that piece off the board. He had to do it for me because he knows my heart. So like, it's never what you think. God is the greatest. Like I say that all the time.
Amen. Amen to that, brother. You're so right, man. But again, man, make sure you guys go follow him. The link is in the description. We'll put a link to the Instagram, to the TikTok, and everything else he's got going on. Y'all go follow him. If you're Houston is not far, man, come work with him. I guarantee it's gonna be worth the trip. Just lock in with bro, man. Again, it's real easy. Go into the description. And before anything else, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button as well. Keep running them numbers up for us. We appreciate you guys. And again, on that note, thank you guys for watching. We are Them Damn Mexicans.